Well, hey everybody, good day. This is Joe. Hey, I'm anxious to get out and just do a little bit of scooter riding today. I don't know, I'm going to go down to Nob Hill in Albuquerque and just hang around, see what I can find. Let's go. Well, I stopped off on the way down to Nob Hill. I stopped off at Altura Park. This is one of my favorite parks in Albuquerque. It's in what's called the near northeast of the UNM campus. It's a triangular shaped park, has these nice old trees and a well-worn jogging and walking path here on the side. And of course today is Monday, they're mowing the grass, so a little bit of engine noise in the background. But I used to live in this neighborhood down on Carlisle in an inexpensive apartment, but it was a nicely managed apartment right on the edge of what's called the Altura Heights neighborhood, which are these nice old ranch homes, some eclectic kind of architecture, and it's fairly expensive real estate in Albuquerque. This is one of the nicer old neighborhoods in Albuquerque, but really love this neighborhood. If I could afford to live here, I might, but I can't. So I've used this park repeatedly over the years as a quick subject matter for black and white photography, especially these old roots of these trees that are exposed through erosion of watering the grass and the worn grass along the edge of the park where the jogging trail is. So a lot of these older trees have the exposed roots, and it makes for really cool black and white photography subject matter. And if you needed a nice shady picnic table to have your brunch at, this is the spot. Of course, with the city greenskeepers mowing the grass. But here's our nice little shaded spot. Hey, this will be a good place to set a typewriter down and do some typing, I think. Might have to come back here and do that. Well, this is the highest priced piece of private real estate in Albuquerque, this home here. This is on Washington and Altura, just north of Constitution in the Altura Heights area, right at the peak of the hill. Anyways, yeah, it's a huge mansion. I think it used to be owned by the Maloof family, who now resides in Las Vegas and owns a casino. But there's one more house I want to show you here in the area. So there is an acclaimed Albuquerque architect named Bart Prince, and this is one of his houses across the street here. It's a very interesting, unique shape to it. It has a sort of a corrugated metal siding, and it has this elevated, lofty appearance, but its general shape sort of artistically might suggest the shape of a mobile home in the West. Well, I didn't bring a hat, of course, but I did find the common sense to park in the motorcycle parking area. Anyways, we're down on Nob Hill here, near Central and Carlisle, and gonna go to breakfast down at Limanata. Well, so we're on Silver Boulevard, which is 1 block south of Central, and this part of Silver is a 18 mile an hour bicycle boulevard speed limit, and I find 18 miles an hour is kind of difficult to maintain even on a scooter. You want to go faster than that. But hey, that's good that they're trying to make bicycle and pedestrian friendly streets around here. So I'm going to walk down a few blocks and see if we can get some breakfast. This is one of these Billy the Kid kind of sticker art things that I keep seeing around this part of town. I've seen this for a number of years. Somebody keeps plastering these around town. Kind of a long-term art project, I think. It's kind of cool. And of course, there's always other kinds of sticker art, I guess you would call it. Now, I've hardly walked a block, and already I'm stopping numerous times, but this right here, this wonderful ironwork grating in front of this office, I remember I did a pinhole, an 8x10 paper negative pinhole image of this back about, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago, and I really love the way it came out. But anyways, every time I walk by one of these places that I've photographed before, if it was a notable picture, it kind of reminds me of the time that I took the picture. And again, I'm stopping because this used to be a bicycle shop, and now it's Three Little Birds Cafe, which I've never been to. This is going to have to be another eating destination for me to visit in the future. And the Three Little Birds Cafe is next to Tractor Brewing, which has a real Farmall tractor. And one of my favorite all-time places to have breakfast and coffee is Limanata's in Nob Hill here on Silver. Yeah, I really love the vibe and the funk of this place. It's just so cool. It's kind of a European atmosphere, a little bit of a gardenish atmosphere outside with the plants. An older building, a lot of nice color, a lot of nice posters and artwork. And of course the espresso drinks are really great, and so is the breakfast and lunch. Not that I'm much into foodie photography, but this is a breakfast crepe with New Mexico green chili and bacon on it. Isn't that great looking? Well, I had a pretty good time here after I ate my crepe, talking with Garrett, who is the son of the owner. This is a family-owned business, and he was telling me about his the business here, and also, interestingly enough, Garrett is a fledgling author. He was telling me about his sci-fi book that he's writing and telling me about the plot of it, which sounds very interesting. So you get into all these little conversations, and you don't know what you're going to discover, but it's always fun to discover new things and new people and new creative people especially. You know, I normally or traditionally would come down to this part of town with a still camera, take still photographs, but it's kind of fun coming down here with a video camera instead and kind of treating what would normally be a still photo, treating it more as a short little clip, a little vignette, a little edit. So you get a little bit of sound and the three-dimensionality of maybe moving around the object a little bit, getting a sense of it in terms of its passage of time. And yeah, mud puddles are not exactly very photogenic, but I've just got to show you. Considering this is New Mexico, we have a lot of standing water here. It's because we had a pretty darn good rainstorm the other night. We got about over an inch of rain in Albuquerque, which is pretty decent. And just down the block from Limanata's is Michael Thomas Coffee, and they have a wonderful little courtyard in here with a bulletin board, and it's always fun to see the stuff that is on the bulletin board. Low life, vids and vinyl, and ice cream socialism, pool party. Looks like a band of some kind. And I've always found it rather interesting. This isn't Las Vegas, this is Albuquerque, but you have a drive-through wedding chapel where you can renew your vows. Perhaps this is a sign of some kind of urban hipsterism, but we now have these rental bike program here in Albuquerque. I don't know how many people are taking advantage of it, but there they are. And this is my favorite film production supply house in Albuquerque, maybe the only one, Field and Frame. And this is where I buy my gaffer's tape from. And I haven't been able to figure out if this is just an accidental spilling of paint or if this is the next great piece of abstract American art. Well, I'm at one of my favorite antique stores, and I've found a number of typewriters here over the years, and no, I did not buy a typewriter. I bought a couple little items. When I get home, I'll show you guys what I got. And hey, we have a bag of goodies here. What could be in the package? Makes kind of a rattly sound. This one's a little bit bigger. What do you think that could be? Well, let's see here. Carefully wrapped by my friends at Antique Specialty Mall. Oh, look at what we have here. This is An old Russian style, Central Asian style abacus, and it has 5 rows. Now the Central Asian abacus is a 10-bead abacus, and this is quite small. It's the only one of this kind I've seen, and it's rather crude construction. You might be able to tell there's these little flathead countersunk screws. It looks like it's had plenty of wear, of usage over the years. The corners being a little scuffed up, but it's pretty cool. Now, all the ones I've seen thus far, and the other one I have in my collection, the rods are supposed to be curved like that, so that when you push the beads over to one side, they won't fall back to the other side by mistake. And so it's possible that the holes where these rods tie into here, the holes could be just real loose and the rods can't stay up like that. So that's one little thing. But other than that, it looks pretty cool. I'm really surprised that all these colored beads are intact and they're not broken or missing. They have a nice patina on them. Okay, let's see what's in the next package. Well, here we go. What is in this package? It's heavy, heavier. Yes, that's right. It is a mid-20th century ashtray. It's one of those where you push the button and it dumps the ashes in there. Huh? Isn't that cool? And then you have a little thing you squeeze and you can open it up to empty it. Doesn't smell too badly. It looks like it's in pretty good shape, and it looks like it'll hold cigars pretty well. Sanitray brand smoker's ashtray out of, what is it, Chicago, Illinois? Well, I'm pretty picky these days when it comes to going through thrift stores and looking for more typewriters. So first of all, I have approximately 21, maybe 22 typewriters in my collection at last count. When I see one in a thrift store or antique store, it has to be in good working order. In other words, all the mechanics have to be working. Of course, keeping in mind it needs to be degreased and cleaned, etc. Yeah, I'm real picky about typewriters. I don't just buy any old junker. I did see 2 of them today at the antique store I went to. I saw an old manual, what was it, a Remington portable from the 1930s. It was tempting, but it had the mechanics of the carriage were not really good around the carriage return lever and all that. And then they had a Smith Corona daisy wheel electric of some recent few decades vintage. Wasn't really interested in that, and it's hard to verify those things work without plugging them in and hoping there's a good ribbon cartridge in there. But anyways, an abacus collection, on the other hand, I have an abacus collection, as you might know from a video from a few years ago. But this is pretty cool, finding a Russian or mid-Asian abacus of this kind, a 10-bead abacus. Very neat. I like the size of it. 5 columns. You don't need 25 or 30 really for doing the average kind of computations that an average person might do. So just a little background on these. The Asian abacus was sit down horizontally, but they were always used with the columns vertical like that. The Russian abacus is used with the columns situated horizontally, so you could literally stand it up on end and it would still work. Having the colored beads is very neat, and I like the patina on these beads. Well, I'm Joe Van Cleve, and this is not a vlog. Have a good day.